Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to beat the Queequeg boss fight in the Limbus Company Canto 5 dungeon. Just a quick note about spoilers, I will be making a video on every boss in the Canto 5 dungeon, but I'm not going to put the videos in a playlist so it doesn't autoplay and you get spoiled about the identity of the next boss. But if you need help, you can click on my YouTube channel, and within a day or two the rest of the videos about the Canto 5 dungeon will be up. Now without any further ado, let's get right into it. So this boss is weak to blunt damage. That's her only weakness, everything else is just 1x. So if you have blunt units, it's a good idea to bring them. Second thing to know is there's two phases. After you stagger Queequeg, Phase 2 will start, and she will get a lot more dangerous. So be ready when you stagger Queequeg and know that it's going to get harder after that. And let me hit play on the recording now. So here I'm using a team of really weak units, and my Ishmael's almost dead because fighting the mobs did not go well for me in the dungeon. Honestly, it was probably worth just restarting the whole dungeon, but I was stubborn, so I did it anyways. Turn 1, there's not really anything to say about. Just clash where you can, build up sanity with whoever you can, and keep on going. So nothing special to see here. But shortly we'll see Queequeg do some special moves, and that's where we need to start thinking about what our plan is to take her down. So just get through turn 1, build up sanity, and then get ready. There we go, Faust goes in. W Corp Faust is actually a pretty okay unit for this because she does a lot of blunt damage and she inflicts a lot of paralyze and attack down, but her clash power is just so low. Okay, so here you can see me setting up some clashes. So after I set them up, I'm going to pause the recording for a second and explain what's going on here. So Queequeg has all counters, so you do not want to hit her right now because you'll take a ton of damage. And Queequeg will get stronger the next turn for each surviving friend of hers. So you need to kill all of the Pequod villagers if you can. If you have someone on high HP, consider using a skill with attack weight, which means you'll also hit Queequeg probably and get hit with counters. But if you're on, a lot of HP, maybe you can tank that. But otherwise, yeah, you need to kill these Pequod town villagers. I can't stress it enough how important it is. And if you can't kill the villagers, consider having Merceau take an attack to the face and just using him to apply Chains of Others on Queequeg, since it applies next turn attack power down. So that way, if you know you're not going to kill the villagers, at least you can mitigate some of her strength with Merceau's Chains of Others. Anyway, I'm going to hit play again. Here you can see I'm just trying to get some damage on. I know I can't kill all 4, so my goal is to kill 3 of them. I don't remember what happens in this recording exactly. I'm pretty sure I only killed 2 though, because things don't go exactly right. Now the villagers in phase 1 are very weak. However, they get a lot stronger in phase 2. So just know that they're pretty weak right now, but they're going to get more dangerous later. Ishmael does a tiny bit of damage. Not that good, but whatever. Otis goes in. These guys are weak to pierce damage, and Queequeg is weak to blunt damage. So you want to bring units that deal blunt, but even more importantly, you want to bring units that deal pierce, so you can kill these villagers. So you can see I did a really bad job. I only killed 1 villager. So now Queequeg is getting +3 coin power, which is pretty insane. Yeah, +3 coin power. It's actually very bad. It's a total disaster. So I have Merceau go in to clash with some basic ego, and then I'm gonna make sure to try to clean up some of the villagers here too. Gonna skip ahead a little bit since I've already discussed how this works. One thing to note is Yisong is always good if you have a bad team comp, because Yisong's default ego, Crow's Eye View, applies same turn attack power down. So if you know you're going to take a ton of damage from a boss, you can have Yisong apply that same turn attack power down to make it not as bad for you. And that's what I'm doing here. And it's lucky for me because Yisong's going first, so I lucked out a bit. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead a bit. And there we go. We can see Yisong going in to apply attack power down. Snag Harpoon doesn't do very much for us because Bind isn't that important here, but it's something. And hey, it's blunt damage.
수많은 것들이 옥죄어 온다.
Otis going in. Sync Otis is pretty okay for this. I'm using a team of pretty bad units, but Sync Otis stands out because she does pierce damage and she has an evade, so she's good for this fight. This is why Gregor's terrible, but that's alright. Well, I shouldn't say terrible. That's a little too unfair, but... And there we go. We can see the 4 attack power down from Merceau and 11 bind, which is a little excessive. So now she'll get a lot easier this turn to deal with. However, you'll notice that even though she has 2 friends alive, she's not gaining +2 coin power up, because that only applies after she does the thing with the counters. I forgot that the guy's guard would roll that high, so I thought Ishmael could kill him, but I screwed it up. That's alright, you can make mistakes and you can still beat this boss, just as long as you're ready to mitigate the damage when you can. Faust goes in, Otis goes in, and we're gonna see a stagger. Except Queequeg, as you'll see in a second, does not care about stagger. So yeah, you can't actually count on the boss getting staggered. She just stands right back up. It's a bit of a problem. I lost my train of thought for a moment. Okay, so phase 2. I'll pause it. I zoned out for a second. So the thing to know about phase 2 is the villagers who were pushovers before are now super dangerous because they're doing their javelin throw attack, which instead of rolling a 6 like their protect the town did, it now javelin rolls a 14, and they all start with 12 sanity instead of 0 sanity. So you want to have units that can roll at least a 15 or higher. You're not actually going to encounter units that roll a 15 very much though. Units usually roll a 16. But anyway, 16 is still good enough, right? You need something that rolls at least 15 or higher. This team I'm using is really going to struggle because a lot of the units like Faust, Merceau, and Yisong on this team comp only roll a 14. So I'm even with them, which is bad. But hey, try to make it work. And again, Queequeg's doing the thing where she's going to charge up depending on how many of her friends survive. So if you can afford to ignore attacks from Queequeg and let her do those 2 unopposed so you can focus on killing villagers, honestly, I would take the damage and risk it. Another thing to note here is I could have cheesed this because they're all attacking Otis. So I could have had Otis just evade the fastest attack, which is the guy with 2 speed. I actually have a whole video in my niche game mechanics about how to set up repeat evades. But anyway, I don't cheese it though because I'm not trying to show, oh yeah, you can cheese the boss fight if you just use a unit with evade and they get prey mark put on them. See, you could manipulate who gets a prey mark put on them if you follow the passive. But I'll pretend that that's not a thing for this. I'll only dodge 1 or 2 of them with Otis, and I'll keep playing the fight like you guys probably are, where you have to clash everything. Alright, I'm gonna skip ahead a bit since that was just me double checking how that all worked. And there we go. Oh wait, I skipped ahead just a little bit too far. So you can see here, I'm just doing some unopposed attacks to try to get some damage in, because Javelin just clashes way too high for me to deal with. It's a problem. And I screw up there and I leave Gregor on a struggling clash. I just forgot about Gregor. There we go. We get a villager kill. That's good. Over here, we stagger another villager. That's really good. Faust goes in. We pick up another villager kill, so we're already doing better in phase 1. Otis does her 2 dodges that I set up. Or, oh, 3 dodges. And now we can see that things are looking up for us. You know, now that I think about it in hindsight, I'm not 100% sure in phase 2 what power-up Queequeg gets from the villagers surviving, but you definitely don't want them to survive. But now that I'm looking at this replay again and Queequeg didn't get the plus coin power-up, I guess it's different from phase 1.
처치의 약점이요.
Either way, you need these guys gone because they're way more dangerous in phase 2 because they throw javelins, which is way stronger than what they were doing in phase 1. So you just need them dead. Merceau goes in to get a bit of blunt damage in. And Faust goes in to do some damage. Things are looking up. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead here because this is pretty simple. I just need to set up clashes with Queequeg. This would actually be a good turn to use Chains of Other from Merceau, but I'm trying to save some ego resources. Plus he got staggered, so I kind of screwed it up anyway. Or it would also be a good turn probably for Yisong to do his thing with Crow's Eye View, but I was trying to save some resources, so I chose not to. Alright, let's skip ahead. We killed the villager. Get some damage in. Faust applies some paralyze for next turn. And Otis dodges an attack. Ishmael dies, but it's all gravy at this point.
완벽한 거리군.
Alright. Corp Faust. The goat. She's actually really not a good unit, but it's fun to pretend. So this is actually, that was unexpected that she would roll double heads like that, and then roll heads there. So I lose 2 clashes I should have won, and I almost lose the whole fight because of that. But all you can do is keep playing, right? Never give up. So I keep going, and I managed to take out Queequeg in a moment here. There we go. Now I can just press damage. Merceau really didn't deserve that kill. And, I mean Yisong, but that's how it goes. Alright, I hope this video helped you, and if you need more help, you can look at the rest of my channel, and I've got more of the boss fights up. Just be careful of spoilers. Try to have one eye closed when you open the rest of my channel. Alright, good luck out there, managers.